Alright guys, so it's been over a week since Ian has dropped his album Goodbye Horses, which was, I don't know if it's fair to say highly anticipated, but at least on the internet, the way it was promoted was as if it was highly anticipated. And it sold 13,000 units. Now, before you all go in the comments and be like, yo, he sold double cardboard, triple tinfoil, like, yo, you know, not even just about the numbers. Alright, you know, someone drops good music, they drop good music. But I kind of wanted to go over this album, you know, the reception to it, of course, but also just what I thought of the album itself and kind of where I see Ian going from here. So first of all, before I even get into the reception, let me just go over what I thought of the album. First of all, I thought this album was kind of mid, you know, I'm not gonna lie, and I'll explain why. And first of all, it's not like he did a horrible job or anything. It's not easy to make a good album, to be honest with you. And if you listen to this album, it has like kind of like this throwback trap sound, you know what I mean? There were like, a lot of it was produced by Soprano, so you could definitely hear him. There was just nothing that really excited me on the project. I got kind of bored. I found myself like, let me just skip a song. Let me just skip a song. Like, you know, after listening to it, not just like hitting skip to hit skip. And before I knew it, I was at the end of the album. That kind of like sums it up. But I do want to like go over the tracks individually. Showboat was cool, the starting, but it wasn't like a hard hitting, you know, thing. Till I Die, I believe he was promoting this a little more. It sounds like Magic Johnson, to be honest. It's nothing stupid. The other ones as well are just him rapping. You know, I noticed, like, I don't know how to explain it. When it's just one single of him like capping, it's more tolerable. When it's a whole album, it's kind of like, all right, bro. Like, Out West, I believe it's an older leak. Chief Keef song, which I'll go over later. End Up Gone, that was the lead single for this project. Honestly, I think it was the best single on this entire project. Maybe Hate Me is on par, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Yachty. There's a song with a guy named Rain. I don't really like it, to be honest. Another one called Loco. Okay, sorry, that's the song that really reminds me of like, that's like classic Ian flow. Like, it's basically like Magic Johnson Part 2. There's Hate Me. There's this one song off that shit, which I thought was pretty good. That was like my favorite song. And then it ended with Goodbye Horses. So the album was just boring to me. It just didn't like, there's really just nothing for me to remember. There weren't really songs that I'm coming back to. It was just kind of like, all right, that's it. That's all there is. You know what I mean? I would say it was just very dry and bland. You know what I mean? Also, the sound that Ian has been like running, or his method, you know, the whole like old Jeezy or Gucci or whatever you want to say, like beats, it's already gotten old. You know what I mean? I don't really think he can keep doing this. He has to evolve after this point. I think this is the last he could do it, and he already overdid it way too much. That was the number one takeaway from it. The next thing is just like little things he did just didn't really pan out. I'll give you an example. Number one, the Chief Keef feature. Now, music video was cool and all for it, but I'm gonna show you something on this extension called the View Stats. It kind of like compares like views on songs. Ian's music video with Vonoff 1700, at this day 11 of both videos being posted, the song with Chief Keef has 430k and the song with Vonoff has 1.1 million, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Ian's song with Vonoff vastly outperformed Chief Keef's feature. Ian probably paid Chief Keef a bag. You know, the Vonoff shit was probably for free, you know? So yeah, that feature didn't really have the power that I think he thought it would. This actually has to do with like this video I'm gonna drop in the future. You know, Chief Keef is like one of these artists where people will, you know, on Twitter, on social media, like, oh man, Chief Keef legend, man, we love him, and I'm sure he's doing great. He's doing really, really good. But if you look at his monthly listeners, if you look at the reception to his last album, like who's really streaming his stuff, it's like not really that crazy. And I think this feature is one of those examples. I think because of like Ian's throwback style, he was able to like kind of like bring out like the old Sosa, so everyone was saying. It's kind of like his new voice. It was cool to hear. It just was nothing crazy. Ian's part was cool. Honestly, like, I liked it. It was cool. It's just not something I would like listen to like crazy or anything. You know what I mean? It's cool. It just wasn't anything crazy. I think they were just banking off the Chief Keef nostalgia, and it didn't really cut it. The other thing too is, I don't know why rappers love doing this. They love to like add they love to like make their albums like a little more artistic. So what they'll do is they'll add like an intro with like no drums on it, with like some melody, and they'll add an interlude, and then, you know, and they'll add like an outro. And they'll be like, all right, bro, that's not really like, that's not how it works, but okay. Well, Ian did this on the last track. He put the song called Goodbye Horses with someone named Isis. I don't know how to say the artist's name. Sorry if I'm like ignorant or something. And I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing horrible. If this was on like Donda 2, I'm not trying to compare Ian to Kanye. Really not. Like, you'd probably be like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, it's like that type of a vibe. It's cool. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I don't really understand. Like, okay, if you have like 12 trap songs, you put a song like this as the resolution to the album, like that doesn't make sense, dude. I don't know. It's like, okay, you're just trying to be, this is just you trying to like, I like this artistic touch to your, okay, I get, I mean, sure, you know, but that was that. And really just nothing stood out. That's all it really boils down to. Nothing stood out. I'm not going to compare him to that one guy. I think I'm just going to do a separate video talking about it. But, you know, of course that hurt him. I think on top of that, just, you know, let's go back to sales, right? Now, I'm going to read some of them, like, just because I think it's important to look through it a little bit. Someone said, this album will never touch my eardrums. 13K too much. This dude, the first AI generated artist, generate white, safe flow, good social media presence, kind of nerdy looking for the girls, Gen Z trend. I wouldn't really say for the girls. I think girls them. But yeah, you know, people weren't really exactly being super nice. Can't say I've heard anyone blasting this. Probably his worst album yet. Bro went triple cardboard. Yeah. However, of course, you know, Ian couldn't let himself take all of that. Today on his story, he posted his tour numbers and he was like, Orlando, and basically it showed that Orlando was only 67% sold out, whereas all the other cities were 100% sold out at like around other than like SF, everything was over like 1,000 people. He sold a lot of like 1.5K venues, like 1.3, or not a lot, like only one, but the 1,000 to 1,500 range, which is good, really good for an artist of his size. I don't know how much the tickets were for. If they were like for 30, it probably grossed like around, you know, they were probably going like 30 to maybe even 50K, and with merch, who knows, right? It's pretty good, you know. Obviously he's not taking all of that, but not bad for his size. However, you know, clearly he was just, I think this was like I really think this is kind of like a calculated move. I think they were trying to show that, yo, he has like, he's not a bum, he's not like, no, it's not like no one with them, you know. People like, if you can pull 1,000, 1,250, 1,500 people to show, like, you got some pull, you know what I mean? Maybe not something insane, but it's pretty good. This actually reminds me of this thing that's been going on Twitter. Basically, like, if you're chronically online, you'll know this. Like, there's like this thing where it'll be like, okay, so it'll be like a girl showing off her ass, and she'll be like, oh my god, you guys like my new glasses, and everyone will just be like quote tweeting it, clowning on her. Or, you know, like guys will get like a tattoo and they'll be like showing their arm and like pictures and be like, all right, bro, we see, you know. That's kind of what Ian's doing with these sales numbers. Like, all right, bro, we get it. It's cool. Shout out to you. Other than that, you know, I feel like I will say, because, you know, I feel like I'm being kind of critical of him, because I'll give a rating for this album. I'd give like a 4 out of 10, maybe like 5, like, but probably like 4.5, really, like, realistically. Like, it was pretty ass. Like, it was a bad listen all the way through. There really weren't too many songs that I'm gonna put on repeat. He promoted the out of this album, you know. They did everything. They really like went the extra mile. They did everything they could to make sure that you knew he was dropping, just because of his image and who he is. A lot of people already are not going to listen to it. That's another point I would like to make before I end this video off, and actually like give Ian his flower, or not Ian, whoops, Freudian slip. Give Ian his flowers, because I think he kind of does deserve it. I think right now you also gotta like zoom out and think like where we are like culturally. I feel like with Kendrick dropping Not Like Us, I know it's crazy. Like, you might think like, yo, what's this guy saying? It really does have an effect, because like, you know, right now everyone is really like, even with Post Malone's shit and all of that, like, everyone is really like, hip hop really has its guard up against like people taking from their culture and doing, you know, they really want to like protect it as an art form. And when people like Ian and what he's doing, and even though, you know, you with them, with them, you get all that, you gotta understand why people have this reaction towards him, why they don't like him. And honestly, if you really think about it, he's not really contributing anything to it. He's just like a regular, I don't know, like cookie cutter, like, I guess you'd even say like culture, right? I'm not gonna go that far though, because I don't really think I have like the authority to, you know, label someone like that. But yeah, I really think that people like right now is just not a great time to try and shoot for what Ian is shooting for. I still think he'll be all right. I'll give you an example. He dropped this song on the Venom soundtrack. It's called Two-Face. I honestly liked the song. It was cool. It was kind of like on a Yeet 2093 beat, I'm not gonna lie, and it was cool. It was just, but it was, as I said, it's nothing crazy. And once again, like, completely just cloning Yeet. One last thing, and this is the one last critique I'd like to give this album. I feel like, I don't know what the word is. I'm not like a vocalist. I think it's vocal inflection, like vocal inflections. I feel like Yeats, not bro, why do I keep saying Yeet? Bro, literally, I keep thinking of Yeet when I'm talking about, but it's actually because I'm about to record this Yeet video that I'm like a little more excited to record. But I feel like for this entire album, bro, his voice just sounded the exact same. Like it was just, there's no inflections whatsoever. It was all the same pitch, same tone, everything. It was just the same like Yeet preset he put on his entire voice. That was it. I don't know, just there's no like vocal range from him or anything. Not that I expected him to like start singing, hitting crazy notes, but it's like, bro, you're just gonna sound like same monotone. I was like, all right. I think Sad had like a nice tone from him. Also that Venom song did. But anyways, I wanted to wrap it up by saying at the end of the day, like, you know, you do have to say, yo, you kind of have to give Ian his props, at least. Maybe not flowers is kind of crazy, but you know, I feel like when did Figure It Out blow up? Like June this like or something. You know, when Figure It Out first was going crazy, everyone was f***ing with Ian. Like no one was saying any of the they were saying that, like, oh bro, like why just cookie cutter, you know, there was just like, oh, because you know all the other shit removed, no one was thinking like, oh, he's gonna be this successful or not, you know, like they were just thinking purely based off the music. They're like, oh wow, this is like cool, it's like some white kid, he's like, and I think it was kind of like a gimmick at first, so that's also why. But still, you know, you have to say everyone was with it. It's only after they realized, oh shit, he's actually like doing some serious shit, you know, all these like more serious like critiques began, you know, poking through the veil, right? So yeah, I feel like at the end of the day he is overhated. I don't think he deserves this much hate. You might think so. I think it's a little unfair, you know, like, come on. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. 4.5 out of 10. Not great. This is not a good project, man, you know. Didn't sell well clearly. And I do want to leave off with one last thing. I know I've said I want to leave off with one last thing like 10 times in this video, but honestly you can just look at the time duration on the video, so I'm not even mad. But I'm really curious to see what Ian does after this. Obviously he's doing like this short little tour. He'll probably be over within like a month, 2 months, whatever. I'm curious. To me it seems like Ian is more of a singles artist than an album artist anyways. The thing is, you know, really weak albums like this do hurt you. The other thing too is, you know, he's not that big where he can just summon a single where they can just like, you know, make something. He needs like something to help him on TikTok. He needs something like that to push his shit. So I honestly expect him to like drop a single like once every like 2, maybe 3 months max. You know what I mean? Just to try and get something, because I feel like if he waits, he's f***ed. That's okay. I'm gonna stop saying that's one last thing. That's another thing. You know, if Ian waited as much as, you know, people are clowning on him right now for 13K, you want triple cardboard. Like if he waited in January, he would have likely sold less, because just think the presence of mind of Ian would just be gone. Like no one would be thinking about him, you know? He would likely have sold, yes, he might not less, he might not have, his sales might not have even been like tracked, and you know, it would have just been worse. On top of that, you know, he couldn't bounce back. It would have been like, oh, you're done, because it's like, what, who's gonna wait, you know? It would have been like a nail in the coffin, like we got you type moment. You know, it would have been what everyone wanted. I feel like Ian is like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, I said like I made that Kendrick Lamar comparison. I feel like it's like the cult, like hip hop and like that. I don't know what to say, like hip hop purists who like really hate Ian or whatever, or just in general, like I'm just gonna say Ian haters, they're at like 80-90% health, and Ian is at like 15-20% health, maybe 25%. Maybe I'm like over exaggerating, he's at like 30%, but you know, got a little bit of life left before it's like, you're done, buddy. Like meat smoke perk. I'm just kidding. Anyways, take care. Hope you enjoyed this video, and peace. Hopefully you'll enjoy my Yeet one as well. I don't know which one is dropping first, to be honest. Bye.